Yeah, because I'm in that frame of mind. I've got that.
So
Yeah,
if I hit record right now, we're good.
yeah, let's go. Let's do
Right, I
it.
just hit record, so we're already recording.
And what's worse going to happen? Because if it doesn't, then if you don't like it, we'll just put a date in the diary
Well, it's
to.
funny. We should have just recorded the conversation for the last 20 minutes, and we actually would have already had it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I know, right? Now we've got to try and recreate the magic.
Yeah.
Especially, well, I think what's funny is you thought you hit on me, but actually I hit on you.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm going to get this video edited. I'll get my video edited and like chop it around. But give me an idea. We've already blown each other, started singing each other's praises for the past like 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
But give me an idea of where you were before, right? So when did we start working together? June last year?
Yeah, so it was at the start of the pandemic. It was this pandemic just kicked off, wasn't it? That we started, and it's
Start of June, I guess. I think it was like we agreed maybe at the end of May. We kicked off in June.
June, yeah, no, absolutely.
Give me to just kind of to get there. Give me a reminder of where you are in the business. Just June 2020, right? Just before we start working together, like how are you feeling? Where's the business? What's going on?
So basically, recap to June and how and where we was at in June. So basically, June the company was making a loss. We just hit the pandemic. I had a lot of bad debtors, so I had a lot of money outstanding. I was very worried that the business was going to go bust. If I'm really looking back, I tried so hard. I thought the business was going to go bust because the cash flow wasn't there. There's no money in the bank, basically. All the money that was owed obviously went into lockdown. Businesses didn't pay their invoices because they just shut because they were worried about their own cash flow. And I didn't really have a bloody clue where I was going to get the staff's next wage. The company was making a loss. We just pivoted the business, so we changed the business structure in February, and we made some redundancies to go more commercialized rather than domestics because we was making a £7,000 loss every month due to having loads of staff, loads of traveling time, loads of outcut. We had loads of income, but it was all going out on traveling time and costs of the business and stuff like that. And so we pivoted the business, changed the business structure, but bam, 23rd of March, we went into lockdown. We lost 90% of our business. Not lost, but 90% of our business closed. And actually, so then I was like, shit, what we're going to do? Panic. You know, the government put loads of things in place, but we didn't necessarily, it wasn't getting action straight away.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of panic and stuff like that. And then in June, things settled down a little bit. We knew more of the situation we was dealing with coronavirus, but we didn't have chance to put our business plan and the pivot into place. And what I really wanted to do is I needed change. Change needed to happen within myself, within my business, within my staff, and we had to make change because otherwise we weren't going to have a business. And so we was making a lot of loss. The business wasn't looking great. We had this great business structure put in place that we hadn't had time to action. And everything was just up in the air, to be honest, as well as the whole country. So that's what June looked like, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. When we started working together, we obviously started working on kind of I guess I'd say foundational, kind of fundamental things. Some foundational, but I kind of fundamental as in like these are the stuff you need to have in place in the business to grow.
Right? It would, yeah, absolutely. So what? Looking back on it and reflecting, it was bloody chaotic. My business was chaotic, like literally, and I think that. And why we looked at the fundamentals because we didn't have processes. Right. Things were happening for everywhere. Everything was everywhere. I didn't really understand. I knew that I was good at sales and getting people to sign the dotted line, but what was happening was an absolute massive car crashes everywhere, you know, and we didn't have any processes. The staff we didn't have, even down to like, when did the staff get their rotas? Well, they get them when they get them, you know. How are you tracking this? Well, I don't know. How, even down to, Jamie, I think one of the questions was how much you spending on one-off costs.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. We didn't even have a cash flow forecast in place.
It was a lot, the one-off costs, wasn't it? When we went into
What?
it, it was
Like
pretty
£4,000, something.
pretty eye-watering.
Yeah. And we've gone from having it at the one-off cost gone from £4,000 a month, £500.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so there's 3.5 grand a month that we've changed, saved and stuff like that, or put into other pots and stuff like that. So it's to look at the fundamentals was key just to put in my business, because we had a business, we had a business, we had clients.
You
We
had a
were
great
selling.
reputation as well. Like, it's not like you weren't doing a bad job, right? The cleaning was good.
Yeah.
It always has been.
What we was doing, Jamie, we was existing.
Right.
So we was existing. We wasn't, there was, like I said, there's no processes. We was good at what we do. We was good at delivering. That's what we was doing. We was great at delivering, but everything between the initial to get into that delivery was absolutely chaos. But also, the staff were chaotic. The management was chaotic. Just everything. The finances were chaotic. And it's yeah, there was nothing. No, there was no fundamentals, was there really? So then we looked at so then once we identified what the problem is, I think your issue was I think it was right, we need to sit down and we need to look at what the hell's going on. And actually, I remember the day that from working with you, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but we looked at and actually I was at breaking point. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I said, I want you to have a conversation. And I was very in denial. I had blinkers on and very in denial.
Yeah, I remember this. Carry on. Yeah, sorry.
I was very in denial I thought I was the greatest thing. I thought I was keeping everything afloat, and I thought was giving all the direction and stuff like that. And actually, I remember you having a conversation. I said, Jamie, I just want you to have a conversation because I think that I'm being in denial here. I want you to have a conversation with Brogan, who's my operations manager, operations director, and also Penny, who's the company supervisor. And get a flow.
On that note, I hope it's okay to share this. Brogan's also your wife, right?
My wife, yeah.
Right, and a lot of people are in that situation where they're working with family members and stuff, or partners, or it complicates things a bit. So carry on, but I just wanted to highlight that as well. So this is personal too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it was going, so with Brogan being my wife and being my operations director, obviously that issue was going home, and it was just making the whole situation just a very negative and bitter, very hostile, shall we say. That's the word, hostile. I said, Jamie, what I want you to do is, so I don't think that I don't know if I'm the issue. Yeah. And I want you to speak to Brogan and Penny and what I wanted you to do is build up the whole picture, get a picture of everything that's going on, because there's two sides to every story. Yeah. And there really was in this case. And maybe I didn't quite know that at the time. Because it's my baby. I've worked so hard and I've done it up until that point. I felt like I'd done it by myself, but actually that's just because I was a bit wet behind the ears and a bit myself I generally believe that I did it all myself, where actually I was far wrong. I was trying to do it all by myself. I think the key word there, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. So what's happened since then? So talk to me about, so we know where you were, right? Yeah. Losing a lot of money, stress to the eyeballs, chaotic. Yeah. You've got clients, but you're not growing. Where are you at now?
And just to add just one to that, where I was, when I started the business, the thing I set the business up for, so my why was I wanted the business to work around my family. So I have two young sons. I had one at the time, and I wanted to be a dad. I wanted to be hands-on, and I wanted the business to work around my family. That's why I employed staff. It wasn't about the money. Obviously the money helped, but it was to work around my family, because I pretty much love to be involved. Had that ever happened up to June last year? No. I was spending more time scrubbing toilets than I was actually with my children. I was spending more time in other people's homes than I was my own home. Yeah. And when I was in my home, it was very hostile. So fast forward, 10 months? Is it 10 months? Fast forward to now, and like I say, where I am now. So we've got fundamentals in place. We looked at the fundamentals, we've got processes in place. So everything we do has to be within our core values. So we looked at the core values of the company, which is the numeric clean. So it's consistency, loyal to our staff and clients, effort, accountability, and noticeability. And I think that's really important. So every decision that we make has to be within these core values. So consistency keeps clients. You're consistent, people will love you. You know, loyalty. If you're loyal to your staff will be loyal back. Whether if that's you offer them flexibility, you know, within their job. So and help out where needed. You know, it's 6 and 2 threes. You know, if you give them something, they'll give you that little bit more.
Yeah.
Effort. You know, giving the best at everything you do. And if I'm the best person I possibly can be and putting effort into me and putting effort into everybody else is going to be the best person they possibly can be, because you're giving them your effort, whether it's your clients, your staff, you know. So effort is everything. And and the bottom line is, when it comes to effort, if you give somebody your everything and you have nothing else to give, that's okay. You know, that's fine, because you can walk away and say, you know what, I did my best.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at that. And accountability, I think everything you do in life, whether it's personal or business, you need accountability.
Yeah.
You know, like you held me accountability with with everything that I did. Why hadn't you? So I'm an action person, so I like to put things into action. Lee, have you done that? Yes, I have. How have you done it? You know, my Brogan, like say for instance, well, why is there not enough money in the bank? Well, she's holding me accountable. And also it's, you know, it's taking ownership and responsibility for what you're doing, but also getting everybody around you to take ownership of what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so if they're going into a client's, take ownership of that client's house, take ownership of you cleaning that, you know. And noticeability, you know, everybody wants to be better. You know, everybody wants to be the best. We talk cleaning. Everybody, I want to be the best possible boss that I can be. You know, I want my staff to be the best cleaning stuff. You know, and that will get you noticed. You know, and so they're the core values that I've looked at within my business. So everything we do now, whether it's marketing, whether it's finances, whether it's delivering, operations, whatever we do, has to sit in them core values.
Love that.
What would that do? That will allow us to better our profits, you know, that and even bringing the company up to profits, you know. And I get having a cleaning company from start to finish, you don't get there straight away, you know, but you need to understand your finances, you know. So for instance, so just this year ago, we was making the £7,000 loss. You know, a year ago today, £7,000. That's a lot of money. Where does that money come from? Sleepless nights, a lot of stress, a lot of trying to balance the books, a lot of plate spinners, you know, to now is obviously to having, you know, so we make about £2,500 profit a month, you know, so it's looking at all the fundamentals that we identified a year ago.
Also, just to ask them that, you're paying yourself a salary first, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and we take more than, so me and Brogan, my wife, we work both in the business and we both work very hard, and that is after our salary. So that is literally net profit after the directors, our director's wage. That's also after any borrowing.
Yeah.
That's everything basically.
You went from making £7,000 loss per month, paying yourself a salary, and you're making multiple £1,000 net profit. And sometimes it's two, sometimes it's more, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Talking about hours as well, right? Because you were working 20-hour days.
Yeah. So in regards to the net profit, just a thing on that.
Yeah.
That's a couple of grand a month during a pandemic when we've lost 400 hours cleaning.
Biggest recession in human history.
You know, so when we was normal trading a year ago, we was making a loss. Now we're in a pandemic, and that's not because we are. That's not because there's a coronavirus and we're cashing in on the coronavirus. Because believe me, we've changed not what we do.
Yeah.
We've just looked at the fundamentals in house. And going on to your next question is, I work 9 till 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That is it. You know, I have a Monday off with my youngest son because he doesn't go to nursery. And so it's I have that day off with him. I do the school run because it's the time I like to spend with my eldest and the time I get to see with him. And my wife absolutely hates the school run. So I now do the school run, and we've actually changed where we have one staff member out on a Saturday and Sunday. A Friday. So a Friday is just a free day. So my son goes to his grandma. And so if I need to jump into work, I will. If I need to help Rogan, I will, and stuff like that. But it's like a free day basically. But alternatively, I work 4 days, 9 till 3. You know why? Because the business has to work for me, and we've allowed and grown the business and put things in place. Yes, we probably sacrifice. I could probably work 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 20-hour days, and probably have an income of loads. We've done it, or a turnover of a lot more than what we're doing now. But actually, that doesn't work for me now. And that doesn't go within my core values. Yeah. So it's
you want for the business. But I mean, there's also
my wife.
For anyone to work less and earn more, right? Like if you're losing £7,000 a month, you've gone from losing £7,000 a month, working 20-hour days whilst losing £7,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now working 3 days a week in the business, right? Which, to be fair, you could probably cut that down even further if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right. And you're making the profit.
Yeah. So going back to when we was working 20-hour days, it wasn't just me, it was my wife too.
Yeah.
Brogan, my wife, she's not a bit meaty, but my wife Brogan. So Brogan, we worked out how much she was earning per hour for what her wage was. She was earning £4 an hour. That was below minimum wage.
Effectively £4 an hour, not actually £4 an hour.
Yeah. So effectively, she was earning £4 an hour.
Before you get an inquiry.
Of hours she was doing for the wage she was getting, because that's the wage we could afford to pay her. What the staff didn't know is that we was working for £4 an hour.
Yeah.
And what the outside world didn't realize. Yes, they was getting that we was delivering our service, and yes, we was good at that, but they didn't realize we was doing it for £4 an hour. Yeah. So it had to change, and it's changed for the better, And it's not just about the changes we put into place, and thankfully it's for the help of yourself that's enabled us to identify it. Is my staff now get their rotas every Wednesday for the next week, so they have 4 days now to plan their working week next week. We have health and safety training in place. They have our core values to be able to work to, because they have a process now, and they have sustainability, and they have everything to work for that, and it's a lot more happy environment because it's not chaotic. And actually, if they call in sick, that they don't feel guilty that they are sick. That's what we was hearing, that when they was poorly, that they was feeling guilty because they couldn't come in, and that's not a good environment to have. People, it's life. People are sick, because we have processes to be able to allow them to be sick. Yeah. Yes, it's an inconvenience for everybody, but actually everyone's allowed to be poorly. Holiday, when people go on holiday, we have processes in place that actually we can cover their holiday, so we're not bringing them back in. We have enough staff that everybody's not doing 50 hours. Yes, they have been. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning of this year, everyone was doing 50 hours. And I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this is too much. We don't have flexibility here. So we put things in place that allows us to have that flexibility, but able to stay within the contracted hours.
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Like what you've been able to achieve over the past 6, 7, 8 months or so, like it's been huge. Like really huge.
Do you know what the biggest thing for me is? Everybody's still smiling. Everybody, when you speak to the staff, they want to work for us because they feel that we look after our staff. But before, everybody hated us. They didn't want to work for us. We had a high turnover of staff. Our retention rates for staff was rubbish. Now our retention rate, basically, they're fighting to get through the door. If that's down to the pandemic, I don't know, but that's great. It's a great position to be.
By the way. Just judging from what other people are saying, I don't think it is.
Yeah, so it's just a happier environment for all. And why? Because we took the time to invest in our processes. We got the right people in to help. You can't. The biggest thing I've got from this, you can't do all that on your own. You know, you need to surround yourself with great people, i.e. yourself. I got yourself. I even got rid of my accountant who was getting everything wrong and got a guy that's, yes, he's more expensive, but he brings me more service. He delivers more of what this guy done.
Yeah.
You know, so I got rid of them. We've got rid of staff. You know, we've got the right people in. And what, yes, it costs money, but you know what? It can make you more money.
Yeah. Let me ask you a direct question. Let me ask you a direct question. Have you seen a positive ROI from investing in the coaching with me?
Absolutely. And this isn't just because we're having this. And you know what? I can't put a price on it, Jamie, because it's you seem to, we're now, again, we're like £9,000 up, you know, from making a £7,000 loss to making a £2,000 profit, you know. So you've got a return on investment on just that, you know. But and then when you look at the bigger picture, when you look at me, take me personally, you know, how I've grown as a person, you know, I couldn't do that on my own. How my management team has grown. You know, Brogan probably wouldn't even have come on this screen before and to talk to you about how things are. She couldn't even tell you what was in my bank before. I tell you what, she couldn't even log into our business banking because she hadn't a clue.
Yeah.
You know, my management team is performing. You know, all the staff are a lot happier. We have processes with profitability. You know, and so actually my return on investment has been massive. You know, and I would do it all over again if I had to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Now,
and that's not just because I'm on here, because I'm very honest person.
No, mate, like the whole point of doing this video for me, that like this is going to be out for people to see it, is to give them just an accurate like representation of what it's like to work with me. And I really appreciate you taking the time, because we've actually, just so anyone's watching this, we've tagged this on the end of our coaching session. I just said to Lee, hey, you free to do this? But on that note, like the point of this isn't for me to take responsibility for your success, by the way, right? And for anyone watching this, that is not the point of this video. I am so happy to have had a hand in it. But on that, give people, I mean, look, there'll be a lot of people that have probably spoken to you who have spoken to me, right? Because I'm always like, look, speak to Lee. Lee's going to be totally honest with what you need to put into place and what it's like to work with me. But for anyone that's considering it or is interested, tell them just 100% honestly, accurately, genuinely, what is it like? And in your opinion, what is it like from your perspective?
So you may not like this, Jamie, you may like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jamie's a great coach. Jamie's a great guy. You know, you're a great guy. You have the likability, you know, but you're not here to be liked. You're here to coach. Yeah. And you need, yes, having both's great, you know, but your knowledge on the industry itself. So there's a lot of coaches that I get approached by, I'm blah, blah from this company, you know, we can get your business to this and we can coach you and we can do all this. But actually, what do you know about the cleaning industry? Right. You know, and what I liked about you, you're industry specific and the knowledge on business itself, on the 21st century of networking, marketing, content, that sort of thing is second to none. You know, I don't think there's one thing that you haven't known that if I've asked a question, you've always answered it and guided me in the right direction. But when you put all three together, so when you put the coaching, yes, you're a good coach because you have that likability and you get the point across. You know, you get action out of people, you know, but it's down to the person to put into. So when you get your content, when you've got your business and when you've got the industry and you've got all three, that's great. So you bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, you know. So that's the other thing is experience. You've been to where my brand new starter is, walking through that door tomorrow, starting to clean. You've been there.
Yeah.
Go to running a company, you've been there. So you get it from every angle, which is great. You know, but also your knowledge on running the business is great. But what you need is action. So if the coachee or whoever is taking is taking your services, they need to action. If they don't put into action, what you can tell them what you want till you're blue in the face. You know, you can write it all down for them. You can even give them the toilet roll to wipe their own ass. But if they don't put that into place, you know, guess what? They're still going to have a dirty ass at the end of it, aren't they? So what's the point?
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you 100%. Action is like the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think any coaching session, obviously, yes, it's great. Like I said before, that you get the industry, you know, you get the business and you get the people and stuff like that, which is absolutely amazing. But alternatively, you need action from them to be able to make your services a success.
Yeah.
You know, so actually, and I think people have to want it. you know, to make that investment of money. So I think if you invest that money, because it is an investment, we've seen that on my P&L and in my staff and the whole business, we've seen that. So it's an investment of money, but there's no point giving you however much money it is, yeah, just to think that you're going to do it for them, because that's totally not how it is. Because I tell you what, I grafted. Some nights I was up till 12 o'clock putting into place what you've done. I had sleepless nights. We had arguments in the office over it. I've disagreed with things, yeah. People will put me in my place. So actually it's a journey. It's not just a service, it's a journey that you take people on. But obviously you need people to drive that journey to allow them to get to their final destination, because you're not going to drive for them.
Yeah, mate, you were committed. I say this to people all the time, right? Think of it like a PT. I can show you the exercises. I can show you the workout. I can show you how to lift the weights. The one thing I can't do, I can't lift the weights for you.
There's a saying, isn't there, that you can lead the donkey to the water, but you can't make the donkey drink the water.
Yeah.
Something like that. Lead
I think it's a horse, but horses and donkeys are so similar.
Yeah.
Mate, it's true. Mate, it's true. But look, I mean, appreciate you taking the time. Look, you said some really kind things. I know they come from a genuine place as well. I also think we've just had a fun 6 months working together. Like, it's just been a laugh. Like, I've enjoyed a hell of a lot. And it's been, sincerely, like, it's been really amazing to see your growth, not only as a business, but as a business owner, as a person. Like, it's been really inspiring. And I think there's a lot of people that, like, that notion of like, well, I want to work less and earn more, they sound counterintuitive to one another. I think there's a lot of people that need to hear your story so they can know that it's achievable and that it is 100% doable.
No, absolutely. You're making me blush now, Jamie. I'll probably have a little cry after this.
It goes back to who came on to do, isn't it?
Yeah. And the journey has been amazing. And it's, again, thank you, because it's not only my business has been on a journey, my staff's been on a journey, I've been on a journey, and we've all grown together. Which is it's been amazing. And like I said, I'll do it all again if I have to. But predominantly, you have to want it. And if you don't want it, don't do it.
Yeah, mate, I couldn't agree more. I've been in that situation. I think I told you this on our first call. Like, I've been in that situation with people where they don't want to put the work in, and it's like, just don't pay me the money if you don't want to put the work in. It's fine. Like, you need to want this as much as I do, and that's fine. If people don't want to grow their business, that's cool. Like, you don't have to. But if there's somewhere you want to get to and you want it badly enough, you got to commit to it.
Absolutely. And it goes back to my core values of effort, doesn't it? And if you ain't going to put the effort in, don't do it. And if it goes back to what I say when we interview staff with our core values, if you can't meet these core values, we don't want you in our company.
Yeah, right, 100%.
Work for somebody else.
Yeah. Right. You were going to get a cup of coffee about half an hour ago. Yeah. So I'm going to let you go get a cup of coffee. We've got our last session coming up.
Yeah, It's sad, isn't it? But no, do you know what? It might be our last session, but I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that we'll stay in contact and help each other along the way whenever the journey's not over.
Hey, also, you know where I am. It's not like I'm going anywhere. You just message me whenever you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We're just taking a fuel stop in our journey. We're not at the end destination.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much for taking the time to blow smoke up my ass. No, I appreciate you taking the time. Like, I really, honestly, what you've achieved has been so incredible to see over such a short space of time. So appreciate you taking the time.
I know. Thank you, because if we didn't do this, I certainly wouldn't have the time to sit here and have a conversation or have a cup of coffee.
That's true. Right. Enjoy your coffee. I'm going to stop recording now. And now.